to give me this task of speaking on EC housing, and I feel it is very crucial. I will be speaking on commercial broiler EC housing, India perspective, and we all know that I'm going to run through my presentation because it has got 25 slides, and most of the things contents most of the people will be aware of, and in the final slides I will compare between open side houses and EC houses, so we can know the cost benefits of it. So my contents will be on need for environmental controlled house, fundamentals of hot weather ventilation, concept of environment house, and benefits of environment control house over open housing. What is the need of environmental control housing? All breeds are high yielding and fast growing, which means faster metabolism, more heat production, more moisture loss, more oxygen requirement, improving air quality within the broiler house by removing the contaminants such as dust, ammonia, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxides, to regulate heat stress index number below 150 and reducing the sensible and insensible heat losses, to provide thermal comfort zone and better utilization of feed for maintenance, growth and weight gains. When should we go for EC house? Extreme climate conditions, high fluctuations in day and night temperatures, very hot summer, very cold winter, insufficient natural ventilation, high humidity, land space restrictions. Electricity is a must to go for EC housing. There are three most important house fundamentals for hot weather ventilation. Number one is we must remove the heat from the house. For removing the heat from the house, we need the air speed to bring wind chill effect. The second is we must remove the heat from the house. So we should have the correct air exchange capacity. We must decrease the incoming air temperature. So we have to maintain the correct incoming temperature. These are three basic fundamentals of EC housing. How much heat is produced from the birds and the house? 80% of the heat is produced by birds and 20% is through external ambient temperature from ceiling, side curtains and side walls. How much BTUs of heat is produced by a broiler? In the chick stage, it produces almost 66 BTUs, and for 2 kg broiler, it produces around 30 BTUs. The high feed intake of 18% of body weight will produce more BTUs, and lower feed intake at the later stage will make 30 BTUs. Energy utilization and metabolic heat loss by broiler. Broiler consumes almost 264 calories per kg of body weight versus human consumption 25 to 30 calories, which is almost 8 to 10 times. How does a broiler use this energy? Roughly 25% of the energy is used for the basic functions, and 75% of the energy is given off as metabolic heat. And out of this 75%, 40 to 50% is released in the surrounding air, and 50 to 60% is lost through your evaporation through respiratory systems. How much metabolic heat is lost from the birds in a house? If we take a sensible heat production of 2 kg broiler in a house with 12 to 15 BTUs per kg per hour, and for a shed which has got a length of 100 meter and width of 10 meter and 14,000 birds approximately, will generate 3,37,920 BTUs in a house. How much heat is removed from the house? If we take an ambient temperature of 42 degrees Celsius and the attic temperature will be around 10 to 20 degree more, which will be around 58 degrees Celsius, and with shed temperature of 28 or desired temperature of 28 degrees Celsius, if we look at flat plastic drop ceiling with R value 3, we can see it is around 1,88,000, and if you add sensible heat from bird and the heat loss from the house, both put together will be approximately around 5,23,000. Now, when we put the thermal with aluminium with R value of 7, this is reduced by 57%. When we use rock wool it is reduced to by 67%. When we use sandwich panel, it is reduced by 70%. So you can see that almost 80% of the heat which is generated in the house is mainly because of the bird. Decreasing incoming air temperature. This is the third fundamental point. Evaporative cooling or EC housing works on the principle of latent heat. As we all know that outside hot air gets mixed with water, water evaporates, and for this evaporation, the heat is taken from the air and it liberates humidity, and for every 1 degree Celsius cooling, the relative humidity which is discharged is 4.5% in the house. The energy required to evaporate 1 liter of water at 100 degrees Celsius needs 2142 BTU heat. How big can I make the EC house? The ideal house length should not exceed 100 to 120 meters, and with the negative pressure ventilation system, as we do it in India with tunnel ventilation, the ideal ratio is 1:10. The side width can be minimum 10 meters, it can go maximum up to 15 meters, and shed height should be as less as possible to improve the airspeed, which is 2.4 meters. If you have automation like bird catching and manure removal, then with the bobcat, the minimum height can go up to 2.7 meter or 9 feet. Concept of environmental controlled housing in India, negative pressure ventilation system, this is what we operate, and it has got 3 modes: minimum ventilation, transitional ventilation, and tunnel ventilation. If you look at minimum ventilation, this is mainly for the young chicks during the night time and for the winter. Wherever there is extreme winter, we need this. This type of ventilation is time driven and not temperature driven. Minimum ventilation is completely closed houses, draws air through side air inlets of around 2 feet by 1 feet or 2 square feet, you can say, and the air is extracted through 36-inch fans. This will ensure mixing of incoming air mixed with warm air above the birds rather than directly, you can say, hitting the draught. Minimum ventilation in EC house with side curtains can be also operated with 1 tunnel fan and cross curtain configuration. We can manage minimum air exchange through curtain configuration by avoiding the direct draught of air on the birds. So you can see here, for 50-gram chicks with a CFM per bird of 0.043, with 13,907 birds, the CFM is 598. So if you have a cycle of minimum ventilation with 300-second cycle, it will be 9 minutes on, and it will be 9 seconds on and 291 seconds off. Similarly for 200 grams and thereon. If you look at the transitional ventilation, this is normally used when the ventilation requirement goes above minimum ventilation, and when there is a outside temperature is plus minus 6 degree, then the target temperature inside the house. Transitional ventilation is normally used in the cold weather situations. Transitional ventilation is used, transitional ventilation is temperature and static pressure driven. Commercial boiler house operates and maintains static pressure of 0.05 to 0.1 inches or 12 to 25 pascals. Then tunnel ventilation and air exchange rate. Tunnel ventilation is used when the weather is hot or warmer. It is only used for, you can say, for increasing the air velocity and bringing the wind chill effect. The wind chill effect with the higher air velocity allows bird to feel a temperature lower than actually recorded by the temperatures. Air speed of 3 to 3.75 meter per second. Air exchange 45 to 60 seconds. It can go even 30 seconds or 2 cycles in case if it is very humid. Air volume of 10 to 11 CFM per square feet is the standard, but you can, in Indian context, I can say that we go also up to 15 CFM where the temperatures are very high. This is a question normally asked: can EC house reduce temperature to any levels? Evaporative cooling, this is an example where you can say that EC housing can only take care of 75% of reduction is possible. because the cooling pads, manufacturing companies, they give efficiency of 75%, 80%, not beyond that. For example, if it is a hot and dry area or location, outside dry bulb, if it is 45 degrees Celsius, wet bulb, if it is 24 degrees Celsius, the difference is 21, 75% of 21 is 15.7. So inside temperature can be brought down from 45 minus 15.7, that is 29.3. If you want to bring the temperature below this, maybe we can use some louvers on the cooling pads, or we can use some baffles inside the shed, but it will not be significantly lower. What are the project cost comparison between open house versus EC house, including land cost? So I have compared open house, which has got steel infrastructure, cement sheets and mud flooring, 5,000 birds capacity shed, 2 sheds, 10,000 capacity, a typical integration sheds with a maximum maximum capacity of 5,000 birds, 250 feet by 25 feet. And if you look into this, the project cost without land will come to 278.6, and project with land cost, considering 20 lakhs per acre, will come to 425.87. And similarly for the EC house with bubble aluminium wrap, it comes to 700 and 760 with land, and so on for rock wool and for the puff insulation. This is the shed I have considered for comparison with EC house. This is a typical EC house, what we have. Now, comparison for open-sided and EC house, including land cost, if you look at, with a standard GC in the market, what the integrators they give is 7 rupees 50 paisa. Actual GC what a farmer gets for his 5 to 6 batches, if you look at all the farm records, it is around 6 rupees 50 paisa. With average CFCR for 12 months of 1.75, it takes 14.6 years for open shed, which includes the land costs also, and 7.2 years for the EC house. So open broiler house, including land cost, takes almost 1.6 to 2 times more than for the ROI. If you do it without land cost, your ROI after interest, which comes to 6.3 for the open-sided houses and 6.3 also for EC house. That means EC broiler house, excluding land cost, takes almost similar or 1.5 years more than open house, depending on the location. If it is extreme, like if you go to north, where you have humid, cold winter, then maybe we may have to go for puff panels. The project cost will go a little higher. EC house versus open house performance. So I have compared this because everybody has a question. When you go for an EC house, the power cost is going to go very high, electricity is very high. We have to make use of fuel and power, the cost is very high. So I tried to compare open house versus EC house, and I have compared it during summer when the power consumption is higher. Considering North Haryana with highest power cost of rupees 8 per unit, considering power cut of 8 hours per day, if you look at the growing expense, it comes to, in EC house, it comes to around 7 rupees 23 paisa as a expense. This is per kg, and the total income what a farmer gets is 12 rupees 27 paisa, and net profit he gets is 5 rupees 4 paisa. And in case of open house, we can see that the cost comes to 5.15 and 722 for the income, and net income goes to 2.07. The performance overcomes the higher power and fuel cost to operate EC house with increase in net profits. Here I have considered in EC house, open house, I have considered CFCR I have considered 1.85, average body weight of 1.75, because I am talking about Haryana. This is the average data in the peak summer of that area. And for EC house, I have compared 2.3 kg body weight with 1.54. I have records of Jaffa and Premium and lot many companies who are even getting up to 1.38, 1.4 during summer in the check placements. So with this kind of comparisons, you can see that the performance overcomes the high power and fuel cost to operate EC house with increase in net profits. Now I have tried even to cover up some more areas like UP, Haryana, Assam and Karnataka. On the top, I have compared the winter costing, which has got CFCR of 1.54 for EC house. For other, you can say, normal open houses, it is 1.65 I have considered. Average body weight during winter, I have considered 2.3. Those are the average body weights which I have taken. And farmer expenses, income, and net profits. You can see almost 2 times more benefit you can get on net profit when you go on EC housing. In the summer, you can say that the benefits what you get is almost up to 2.2. So what I'm trying to conclude is benefits of EC housing: farmer broiler housing capacity increases by 1.6 times, farmer net profit per kg broiler sold is almost doubled with improvement in performance, consistent performance for all 6 batches with less stress, better health and low mortalities, improves the biosecurity of the farms. With the increase of average farm sizes in broiler integration, it is always advisable to go for EC housing. Thank you very much.